Good evening, guys. I thought I would try to give you a little update. It's been a rough couple of days, as has been the case with this whole ordeal. It's either 3 steps forward and 2 back, and sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 3 back. But after being back in the hospital for a couple of days and getting some good rest and getting the pain under control, things were looking up, and had another good day Monday, and was looking forward to good reports on Tuesday. Maybe even thinking they might send me home. But Doc came in Tuesday morning with news that a culture they had done on my lungs when I first came in had come back with some crazy bacteria, rare bacteria. And based on the fact that I'm already fighting the pneumonia and being treated for breathing problems, felt it was necessary to not only get me started on a huge dose of antibiotics every 8 hours, but also stay on the high dose steroids that I'm on, and then the Lasix, which helps drain all the liquid off of that. So that really threw me for a loop. Just seemed like one more thing after the blood clots and everything else that's just been part of this, and a few more days in this little room, in this little hospital, and gowns and uncomfortable stuff that goes along with the hospital. But anyway, it was a rough night last night, but today it looks like the antibiotics are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we will just keep going down this road and fighting. But after however many days, almost a month now, of just the nights where you go to bed just wondering, are you going to wake up trouble breathing, or being put on a ventilator, or if you're just not going to make it out. It really wears on you. I could have never imagined that I would be in the hospital for a month, especially when a month ago I was perfectly healthy and didn't have anything like this that I ever dreamed that could happen, and I didn't have any risks for this. It's certainly been a crazy trial, and it doesn't matter how much you think you know or how much faith you have. At some point, it just becomes too much to handle. So I just want to thank all of you again who have offered your support, and it means so much when you're sitting here in these 4 walls and you get a little ping, or you get a little message, or you just get that someone is thinking about you. And just know that I really appreciate hearing from those of you that have suffered through cancer and other trials, and I think it's something you can't understand until you really are staring the valley of the shadow of death on a regular basis, and every night going to sleep. And certainly with COVID, it's harder, where you sit and you think all the bad thoughts that you have at night, and you don't have someone there to hold your hand. And I can't imagine all the millions of people that have died now in complete isolation without having someone there to comfort you in that time. It's certainly given me a great amount of compassion and empathy, and for anybody who's had to have extended stays in hospitals and have had to face serious illnesses. It's truly the most agonizing, difficult, painful experience that I still believe everything happens for a reason, and good can come out of it. But the amount of damage that this virus did to a completely healthy guy in a week's time, which the virus has come and gone. What we're left with is what my last doctor described as just picture a whole row of semi-trucks just crashing into your entire vascular system and your lungs and your heart and your kidneys. Everything has been dramatically affected in ways that we will only know in the months and years ahead. And there are millions of people that are being affected in the same way. I was completely ignorant of how really serious the damage that this virus can do. And it doesn't do it to everybody, and they don't know why. And that's been the biggest frustration for the doctors, is they don't understand why a perfectly healthy guy can be destroyed. In Fort Collins, there were the 21-year-old girl next to me who was fighting the same battle. There was a guy my age who had just died because he was 30 pounds overweight. Thankfully, I didn't have diabetes. I didn't have high blood pressure. I didn't have any heart problems. I didn't have asthma. Wasn't overweight. But if you have any one of those things, it makes it that much harder for them to keep you alive, and that much more likely you'll be on a ventilator. So all I can do is encourage you to really take this seriously and think about what if it did affect you or your husband or wife or partner or family member or parent or grandparent, or what if you had the virus and you had no symptoms and you passed it on to somebody passed it on to me somehow. I don't know where in the world I picked it up, but please take this seriously. This is not a political thing. It's a scientific thing, and there are doctors and nurses that are in hospitals all over the world every day risking their lives to take care of people like me and people like you, anyone that needs it. And they've been amazing. But every single one has had the same response and have told me the same thing. They've been vaccinated. They trust the vaccines. And the vaccines are the fastest, safest way to stop this virus that has completely destroyed every system in my body, that now I will spend time healing with God's grace. They need your help. They're asking for your help in just being, I promise you, I don't care how bad you feel for 2 or 3 days from the shots. It will be nothing compared to the month that I've just gone through. I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through this. So please consider not just yourself, but the other people that your decisions can impact. And again, I want to thank all of you that have just been all the messages of support and prayer that have really kept me going through all of this. And it's a long road. The doc wanted me to make sure I understood, even though I could be going home this week, this oxygen's not going away anytime soon. And won't be running any marathons or hiking any mountains. Not doing any mountain biking this summer, but they are very confident that I will survive, which is more than one of the first people they lost here at this hospital was a young man who was only in his 20s. It can get anybody. So take care. Keep the messages coming. I really appreciate them. You've all been an amazing lifeline. And I hope I can thank you all in person one day and look forward to getting past this. But please, let's not have another year or 2 years of this. If this goes till fall and there get more variants and more people get sick and kids get sick and parents die, just let's put it behind us. Anyway, I hope you have a good night. I hope my next post will be even better, and